Hi guys, my name's Adrian, and in today's video I wanted to talk about both consistency and reliability. These two aspects are something that I used to be very bad at, and yet they're the two things that I look for the most now when I'm looking to work with people, or if I'm looking for staff or anything in between. I think in development especially, being able to be both reliable and consistent is much more important than being technically literate to the point where you might understand a library inside and out. A lot of people don't. They maybe specialize in some technologies, or maybe they're a generalist. But someone who just knows the basics and is consistent and reliable is much more effective at doing a job than someone who might be a specialist in a certain area, but they're late when it comes to providing projects, or maybe sometimes they provide them and sometimes they don't, and they're inconsistent. And this can't happen in business. It essentially costs money for a business, and it costs risk in reputation and all sorts of elements like this. And if someone isn't both consistent and reliable in providing results, they're not going to be working very long, whether it's in freelancing or whether it's in development in general. Now, I know that I personally used to try and take on a lot of work, and I think this is the part where I wasn't able to be reliable. And this is what I learned. When I was doing a lot of tasks at the same time and trying to juggle them all at the same time, I ended up letting them all fall at the same time. And this meant that when people came back to me and they said that they don't want to work with me because I'm not really delivering on my promises for maybe the time period that I said I would do a job, or maybe the quality or the scope of the job. This was because I didn't deliver on that because I felt like I was overwhelmed. But this wasn't the client's fault, it was my fault for overextending myself, and the end result was that I gave off a presentation that I wasn't reliable. Now, I tried really hard in the last 5 to 10 years to really fix this. I tried to make sure that I never take on more work than I'm able to do in a single go. And even if I do take on a little bit more work, I make sure that I get it done on time and as promised. And this has slowly built back my reliability, and it means that more people are willing to work with me, whether this is in freelance or whether this is just looking for a job in general. Being able to present yourself as reliable means that when you go into a job, people believe in you. They know that you'll be able to promise a certain thing and deliver on that promise. And there's nothing more important than in business. And this also means that if sometimes people need things done ASAP, it doesn't mean that you leave it to the last minute. It means that you try to get it done as soon as possible, if not earlier, because you show that you understand that importance for time, and you're reliable, and you'll essentially deliver on that sooner than they might even expect it to. Now, in terms of consistency, it's making sure that you're consistently reliable and consistently always delivering on those promises. It's fine to be reliable one time or two times, but you have to be reliable every time if you want to keep that consistency up, and so that people actually believe in you when you're working on different projects. And this will lead to more work. People will know that you're able to deliver on those results consistently. And this is time and time something that I've noticed with other people. I've done a lot of work where maybe sometimes I didn't have the time to freelance it out, so I would pass it on to a third party to develop, or I would even talk to different peers and colleagues when they got work done. And what the end result was that their developers or their designers just couldn't deliver on those promises. Maybe they didn't reply back to emails, or maybe the designer just took a long time to create something, or the developer kept saying it's on its way, but it never was. And this frustrates people, and this is why they eventually stopped working with other people and worked with me more often. And this meant that I could charge a little bit more money, because they knew that reliability and that consistency of delivering projects does have a value attached, and it does have a cost, and they're willing to pay that, because being able to deliver on work is more important than being able to overpromise and then never deliver. And even if the work isn't as high quality as other people might promise to do, the high quality doesn't matter if it's never been delivered either. So I much prefer to do an average project on time than an over-the-top project that might miss deadlines. Anyway, these are my thoughts on reliability and consistency, and I think they're very important, especially in design and development. What are your thoughts? What do you guys think? Is reliability something that you guys essentially do, and are you consistent in delivering your results, or do you sometimes overpromise? And have you run into these problems in the past? I'd love to know. Otherwise, my name is Adrian, and I do lots of videos around design and development, and I'm trying to think of more topics to do as well. So if you do have topics, leave them in the comments below, hit like, hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.